My friend accepted an HR position with one of the largest companies in Chicago. Everyone told her she'd made it. The pay was incredible. The benefits were even better. A few months into the job, they started sending her to Spain to help recruit executives for their international offices. From the outside, it looked like she was living the dream, but every phone call we had told a different story. She'd work 12-hour days, answer emails at midnight, cancel weekends because someone else forgot to do their job. Every time she tried to enforce company policy, managers rolled their eyes. One executive laughed during a meeting and said, "Relax, you're just HR." Another interrupted her so often that she eventually stopped finishing her sentences. The irony? She wasn't asking for respect because of her title. She was asking for basic respect as a person. I kept telling her, "Why don't you just quit?" She always gave me the same answer, "Because I love the people. I just don't love the people in charge." What no one at that company knew, years before she ever submitted her resume, her grandfather had been one of the company's earliest investors. When he passed away, he left his entire ownership stake to her. It wasn't enough to run the company by herself, but it was large enough that every major corporate decision required her vote. She never mentioned it during interviews, never brought it up after she was hired. She wanted to know what it felt like to be treated like everyone else. Unfortunately, she found out. One Friday afternoon, her manager sent her a calendar invitation with the subject line, "Quick check-in." She walked into the conference room expecting another discussion about staffing. Instead, HR was waiting. Her manager slid an envelope across the table. "We've decided to move in another direction." She blinked. "I've never received a write-up. This decision is final. No thank you. No appreciation. No acknowledgement of the nights she stayed late or the flights she took overseas. Just a cardboard box, a security badge placed on the table, and someone walking her to the elevator as if she were a liability." She didn't argue. She simply smiled, picked up her things, and left. The following Monday, the company held its quarterly board meeting. Executives filled the room. Department heads took their seats. The CEO looked around and said, "We're just waiting on one more board member before we begin." People checked their watches. Someone whispered, "Who are we waiting for?" Then the conference room door opened. In walked the same woman they'd escorted out of the building 3 days earlier. She wasn't carrying a cardboard box anymore. She was carrying a leather portfolio. The room went completely silent. Her former manager actually stood up, convinced she'd walked into the wrong meeting. She calmly took the empty seat at the end of the table, the seat with her name already printed in front of it. The CEO smiled. "Glad you could make it." Then he looked around the room. "For those of you who haven't met her in this capacity, she's one of our largest individual shareholders and a voting member of this board." No one said a word. The same executives who ignored her emails, interrupted her meetings, and treated her like she didn't matter, were now waiting for her vote before they could move forward with any major decisions. Her former manager couldn't even look her in the eyes. She never smiled. She never celebrated. She simply opened her portfolio and said, "I believe we have a few leadership decisions to discuss." I've never forgotten that story, because sometimes the people with the most power don't feel the need to announce it. They simply let people reveal their character first. Every story leaves one question. If you were in her position, would you have told everyone who you really were from the beginning, or would you have waited to see how they treated you first?